YouTube, Facebook. That's those three. A little bit of Instagram, I guess, if you want to throw that out there. This is esportsXTRA, the only live call-in sports show talking traditional sports, esports, and gaming. We'll take your phone calls here today, 877-853-5247, meeting ID esportsXTRA. That is 377-678-9872. Hit the pound button twice to join the show. Larry Ridley here, little SNY TV, little NBC Sports, Mad NFL, little NBA 2K League. Oh, man. We got 5-on-5 basketball? Really? Are you? Hold on. Am I doing this right, Coach Kim? Am I looking at the right places?
That's that Middle Tennessee math.
That's right. That's Middle Tennessee math. That's right. Hey, man.
Bring out the abacus.
The sundial. It is so good to have all you black, beautiful people, all four of you guys. I'm so excited to be here and be a part of this. Oh, gee, what's up, baby?
Chilling. It is good to have everybody here, man.
Man. It's been a while.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna sit back and cruise today.
Oh, no, you're not. No. So we got OG. He's out there flying with them Dayton Flyers, and OHIO Snoopy hang on. We'll go down to Texas, deep in the heart of Texas. We'll go to Southeast Texas, H-Town, where we'll start the topic today, talking about James Harden. What's up, girl? Apparently you're not in the Harris County jail. That's a good thing.
Yeah, no. I try to stay out of jail.
Good stuff. How you doing? Kels?
Phenomenal. I'm just happy that Derwin is back because I really miss his. Like, he be so outlandish but sensible at the same time. At the same time, how does that even happen?
It's ridiculous. That's what it is. That's the proper word for it. He's over there, taking notes and stuff. Dagwood. That's exactly it. We'll go down to the North Texas out there, man, in the Dow, the DFW, the Dalworth Metroplex. Hey, Willie, what's up, man? Siobhan in the house.
Yep, the boss is in the house. What's good? What's good with it?
Good, man. Good, man. How's Jordan? Everything good with baby girl?
Doing very well. She's doing well. The boss is doing well. I cannot complain.
That's all I got, man. When I hear about Jordan, that's all I got, man. I can't wait to meet her. I'm just going to throw it up. That's it.
Watch her recite.
That's even better right there. Darren Worrell hanging out in Brooklyn. Karnewski, Bedford, Iverson, sister. Good stuff there. What is up, bro?
I'm chilling, man. Just I'm tired of snow. I don't like snow. When I was a kid, I loved it, but now I'm an adult. I don't want to deal with it.
Okay, you were down at Ponce de Leon, hanging out with the Fountain of Youth. You're an island boy, technically. That's where your roots. I understand why the hell you wouldn't like snow, right?
No.
Does that make sense?
When I was a kid, I loved it, but now, like, my son loves it. He want to go play in it, but I'm like, nah, I'm trying to get away from it.
I never loved it.
Man,
is it still coming down, or has it like?
No, it stopped today around.
It stopped.
Around about 11, 12 o'clock. Pretty much, it was pretty much done. But yeah, we got hit pretty good. We got a good.
I've seen some bad videos, man.
Yeah, we got about a foot, maybe. I don't know. I didn't really calculate it, but I was happy. The neighbor did our driveway. I went out, the walkway and stuff. I went out and it was all done. So my picture on Instagram is fugazi. Everything was done. I was like, all right. I told my boys, get out here. Let's go. Let's shovel. Blah blah blah. He's like, no, I'm gaming, man. Blah blah. I'm like, get your butt out here. Let's shovel. Come on. He's like, Dad, it's already done. I'm like, no, it ain't. And I went down. It's like, damn, the neighbor actually did it. I was like, holy cow. So yeah, you got lucky. Good stuff, guys. 877-853-5247, meeting ID. esportsXTRA, 377-678-9872. Pound button twice to join the show. We're talking NBA. We're talking NFL. We're talking college football. Somebody wants to bring back the BCS. I was like, huh? Really? We'll get into James Oresco and his comments. But you know what? I understand where his gripe is. I really do. You just can't say that, though. Like, bring back the BCS. Like, we good with that. JSU. I don't know if you guys been paying attention. Jackson State is killing it on the recruiting trail. Coach Prime down there. Deion Sanders, man. I want to get you guys' thoughts on that. Twitch. Banning one of my favorite words in all of esports. Derwin, OG, hey Willie, you guys cannot be on Twitch right now because you're simps. You're banned from Twitch. They said all simps are banned from Twitch. Is that true?
Simps?
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
I'm sorry.
You don't know, Kelly.
Hey, when we get to that, I bring up an interesting point, like, because it's amazing that word still is living in 2020. We still talking. We still using the word
Oh, it's
simp.
alive and well.
Like a SIMP.
SIMP,
Like,
Yes.
the
like
opposite of
we'll,
pimp.
Oh,
we'll get there because I mean I've called a dude a simp before. Like
Yes,
he's a simp. Like, is that the word? Like, is that the
yes.
same word?
We're talking about the
Okay.
same thing. It just
no.
it's new. Oh, actually, everything old is new again. One of those type of deals. So we'll go ahead and get started. Let's start with you, Kels. We talked about James Harden. Hell, we've been talking about the Rockets. It seems like for the last 2 or 3 months. Your thoughts here on Russell Westbrook, and we talked a little bit about yesterday. More stuff came out about how he just didn't like the laissez-faire, sort of relaxed, undisciplined, sort of system and structure that the Rockets had, and it drove him crazy. To your point, OG, Russell Westbrook is a guy that liked structure. They had pride at Oklahoma City. Here's a guy that liked to be on time, liked to do things the correct way, and it drove him crazy with James Harden. So that's why some of the reasons why he wanted out, they didn't really mesh. And Harden showing up late to practice, flying around, and there was the one incident at the bubble where he showed up late for a film
Fam.
session because he took the COVID-19 test right before film started. He looked at D'Antoni's like, "Start the daggone film," and D'Antoni's like, "No, why? Because we'll have to do it again." And Russ is pretty mad about that. Your thoughts, Kels, about that dynamic between those two superstars? One has sort of passed the other. Early on, it was definitely Russell Westbrook. Now, the bigger superstar is James Harden. But you got to look at basically the internally how these two guys are sort of built. I guess that's the rub there, right?
I mean, it's nothing that I didn't know or didn't think wasn't happening. Just because there's always going to be that inner clash of like a superstar getting, this treatment, and then it's just like the kid with that candy. You keep giving it to them, and they're going to want more and more and more, and then it's going to spiral out of control. Like I'm never. So I was a star athlete or something like that,
You
and I
were.
definitely
You're freaking Olympian, girl.
smidge.
Right.
So I definitely got preferential treatment there, but there would never be anybody that would show up before me, stay later than me, or work harder than me because I wanted to stay a star. So you can't let that go to your head. You can't think you're better than the team, better than the game, because you're never. Like there will always be someone better than you or that will come and pass you. So that also deals with the self accountability stuff that I talked about yesterday that James Harden has a problem with.
Hmm.
Everything is everybody else's fault. They didn't do this for me, they didn't do that for me, but not what you are doing for yourself. And it's also indicative of what he looked like on the court the other night. Like he looked like he had just been having like Big Mac, honey buns, brown liquor, and some old other stuff that I'm not
Did
even
he
gonna
eat
say.
Skinny James?
He did. He swallowed him twice.
Oh,
Like it looks horrible. So once you start, like, all of these things kind of go together, especially when you're an athlete. Like if you are undisciplined in one area, you're going to be undisciplined in all, especially when that ego comes into play. And we all know when unaccountability and egos go hand in hand, what happens? Perfect storm. You can't win a championship. It's everyone else's fault, and you'll never be able to see past your immediate. So like I hate it. I don't like it. And yes, all stars get preferential treatment. Bron gets to do whatever. They let Dennis Hardman fly to Vegas in the middle of the season. So yes, but when like all those days are long gone. You're not LeBron James. It's not going to happen. So yes, like live it up. Get some preferential treatment, but also don't come back 50 pounds overweight, and not hold up your end of the bargain, and then have a temper tantrum at half court.
sure. Yeah, we saw the pictures. Remember before they came back to the bubble, OG Harden looked really good, in great shape running those hills. And then I saw the picture of the side by side last night. I was like, wow, yeah, there's a difference. You could see he's got a little tire around the waist, a little bit. What does it say about Harden? I think it speaks volumes. I think it shines a brighter light and makes Russ look better because he's maniacal like that. And say what you want about the outfits and the crazy and the jump shot and all the other stuff about him. Dude is about winning basketball games and he's about max effort. That's what I took out of it. It wasn't about James, it was about Russ.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, you got players out here who really can care less about the prima donna stuff, and that's where I look at Russ, and I said that, and when I read this, it warmed my heart because I've been trying to tell people that I don't think Russ is the person that everybody makes him out to be. I say you can tell with the passion that he plays with that he truly cares about the game and about his team. And now some of this stuff is starting to show where maybe it's moments in the game where Russ didn't defer to whoever was on his right. And because of moments and everything that was going on, that chemistry was not there due to the behavior of certain players. So uh, things are starting to make sense now. And I don't know how interesting because I don't know how Harden like gets out of that. I mean, you basically, built Houston, but kind of tearing them down at the same time. So now wanting to be in position to win a championship, you may be the reason why a team doesn't win a championship. So it's just I'm sure more things that come out, but just hearing everything that had transpired was it definitely wasn't good news on James Harden. Yeah.
Hey Willie, more teams. It's reporting now. More teams are starting to inquire about trading with James. More elite Eastern Conference teams, Western Conference teams. Several, as what I saw on ESPN.com shortly before the show started. How do you see all of this unfolding? And what does this say about Russ? And what does this say about James? More drama down there in Houston with playing with superstars, two owners, four coaches.
Yeah, for me, about the Russ and James thing? I first off, I never, especially with respect to us as people, I never like to see players having these types of issues. When I watched Kobe and Shaq have this issue, that broke me a little bit. That really bothered me. And so, especially when you see it where these players play a style in the sense of Kobe and Shaq, one's a guard, one's a center. It's not they're 1-2 in the league in scoring. They're not getting in each other's way. Same thing with Russ and James. Everybody's still getting their numbers. And in fact, when Houston was playing well, Russie was having an incredible month. So I don't like to see that. Then, secondly, on a personal note, I don't like to see two LA guys going at it like that either. And then, so the other thing too, when I look at it is, and I said this, I touched on this yesterday, talking about James. If James is indeed moved to a team that has a shot to win the championship, he's going to have to play like he did when he played in OKC. And that's the one that I've been waiting on. He has the
He ain't no
basketball
six
IQ to
man,
do
dog.
it.
He ain't no six man no more.
Right, but I'm not talking about being a six man,
Right,
Ella.
I
I'm
know.
talking about being on the ball and being able to facilitate for people. Right? That's what I'm talking about. He has that capacity in him. The other thing that he has as well is when you are a six man, and you come off the bench, you play with energy. You make energy plays as well. He actually closed out OKC on the block last year in the playoffs. So with that being said, the capacity to play with that energy is there, and he's going to have to play like that if he wants to go to a championship situation. So I got to see more of that if when I'm watching James and watching him play at a high level. And of course, only time will tell if we get to that point. But that's the thing that I'll have like to see out of him. And then to agree with everybody else on the panel, I've always been a Russie guy, man. So in terms of energy, I'm partial to point guards. I love how this dude plays.
You're partial to point guards, really.
I am, man. And then, but
in
he's
LA.
a dude though. But he's a dude though, man. That's like he has the athletic cheat code, man. But he also has energy as well. And oftentimes, when you see guys with the athletic cheat code, they don't play with energy because they don't have to. And he plays with the energy with that athletic cheat code, man. So it's hard not to like him.
Yeah, D Dubs, you look at Russ, man, and he was just talking about James, not being on the ball, but didn't CP3? That was one of the issues he had when he didn't have the ball or the offense wasn't run through him. He was kind of dogging it on the back end and the back court back there, man. He didn't want no part of the offense. So I don't know, how do you mesh that, D Dubs?
There's a lot of things to unpack here. This thing kind of makes Westbrook look good, according to OG. He's misunderstood. Maybe I misunderstand him too. But when I look at Houston, am I missing something? When did Harden ever win a championship? For him to be acting like this, I don't get it. He's not Michael Jordan. He's not Dennis Rodman. I understand star players
he's Dennis Rodman. He ain't Kobe. He ain't Shaq.
He ain't never win anything to be acting like this.
But he's Dennis Rodman. Come on now.
No, he's not. Stop.
Dennis Rodman had chips
I
Come
don't
on,
know,
he-
man.
with
I know-
multiple
no,
teams.
no, no.
I
no, I get what
multiple
Larry's
teams.
saying.
You know
though.
what
I
I'm
get what he's
saying? Like,
But I
he's
get
a,
what he's
he's a
saying.
more
But
elite player than Dennis. He's a better elite
No,
player
well,
than
Dennis
Rodman.
had one job, and he did it better than anybody.
Help. Who
That's
who
because-
scores better than James Harden?
James
to your
Harden. My point is,
Who
James
scores
Harden.
better than
James Harden has never won
preseason or
anything.
postseason? Preseason or postseason?
Hey, and then to your point, D, and I'm in
That's a good
agreement
point.
with you. To your point, Dennis had one job because Dennis wanted one job. It wasn't because Dennis
Sure.
couldn't do more than one job.
And who did that job better than him?
Yeah, but this is unfair what you guys are doing though. But go ahead. You
No.
make it.
Not
Oh, you
you
know what I'm
So-
talking
Not
about.
you guys. I
Yeah,
get what
okay.
you're saying, Larry.
Yeah, I know. You know. Yeah, come on
So
now.
this
Can't
guy's
say
never
he's
won
James.
anything.
He's not Dennis Rodman. Come on.
And then I got a problem with the coach, D'Antoni.
Sure.
How do you let this stuff go on? The Houston organization,
How did
Well,
you let it
you
go
guys-
on?
you guys are never going to win anything with that kind of attitude. And the fact that this is coming out now, that new head coach,
Silas.
you got to let that guy go.
Steven Silas.
How are you going to win with a guy? He can't lead your locker room.
Hey Willie, jump in here real quick. You've been in the association. OG, you've been in the association too. Can we just dispel this? Look, what James did was he abused his power. We all get that. But damn it, he ain't the only one that's abusing power. He ain't the only one that gets power from the organization. What do you think?
Yeah.
You don't think the Rockets are complicit? You ever heard that word complicit?
Yeah. It makes
They're
it.
enablers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're not
It
winning
makes it-
anything with him.
Oh,
They're not
well,
gonna
that-
win.
okay,
He can't
okay.
lead a locker room.
Go ahead, Willie. Yeah, that's a good point. Good
I'm
point.
saying it makes it tough when you start getting, when it's coming from the ownership and going down. Like it makes it tough not only to coach, it makes it tough to when you are select drafting players, when you're looking for players to sign, you're always operating in panic mode. And so instead of operating from a position of power and not putting emotion in making moves, it's always a move of desperation. And we talked about this yesterday. That's why it was so good what Giannis did, because now the Bucks and the players can all make moves and not have the emotion of, if I slip up one time, that means Giannis is going to leave. So when you have that type of empowerment, I mean, it makes it a lot easier for coaches, makes it a lot easier for front office personnel, and that trickles down to the guys that are on the floor as well playing.
David Griffin, weren't they talking about LeBron, OG? Weren't they talking about LeBron, how they would fly and stay in certain cities and
But like,
Now, I get it, he won titles, but I'm just saying this is not unheard of in the NBA, guys. I mean,
well,
come on,
getting to
stop,
what
come on.
Durbin was saying about the coaching aspect of it is like when you think about most of your champions, most of them appear to be coachable. And yeah, they may be prima donnas, but they appear to be coachable. I mean, and then you got some players that you look at when they don't win championships, you kind of things start to make sense. The coach, most of the time, is the least paid personnel on the roster. So like, I don't know, like when you think James Harden done Tony, James Harden done like it's a no-brainer. Like James is probably gonna get away with whatever he wants. Like, I mean, I think when you look at some of your legendary coaches like Phil Jackson and everything, I'm not saying that they didn't deal with, personalities and different things like that, but they basically had a good enough relationships with those players to get them to understand what the bigger goal was. And I think, James Harden is just, like I said yesterday, like you just don't think of nothing but individuality when you think about him in the current point of his career. Like A. Willie said, when he was with OKC, younger player, he had a lot more to his game.
Had two older guys that were already more established there, and KD and Russ.
Right. So it makes a difference. But man, I don't. And now, like, it doesn't make sense. But a lot of people, ain't nobody's been beating down the door to go play in Houston. Like, I mean. And I think it's going to be like that.
I mean, to get people to come in there. You're right about that.
Why would you want to go there?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I mean, it's a mess now. I mean, they got no capital. They got no draft picks. They don't have hardly any money. And the roster's not very good. One excellent player, and then it's like nothing after. And
I'm going to tell you, the only thing that I like about Houston is you got John Wall, who's elated to be back on the court playing basketball. You got Boogie, who's excited about being back on the court and proving himself and hopefully staying healthy. So it's a lot of good things about him. outside of that, but I don't know what's going to weigh heavier.
They're a first round exit. I mean, but they are what we want here in New York. Remember, we were like, hey, man, rush to the Knicks. Give it to me. I'll take the 8 seed. It's better than being, freaking, 20 and 62. Dude,
you're selling us short.
No, dude. Okay.
We don't want that in New York.
We don't want that. What do you want right now?
You act like New York. You want participation trophy. We don't want that.
No. I'll take anything. I just want to advance. Give me something.
You take anything.
Can I get meaningful games in March and April? I'll take a playoff. Anything.
I just feel like, when we look at James, even when we look at Giannis to a certain extent, I just feel like since Mike, it's almost like everybody is validated by winning the title, and only so many people are going to win the title. And there's a reason why, if you look at, I think we've had 77 or so seasons in the NBA, and 4 teams have won over half the titles, and there's a reason why. And so I just think too that there's so much in, man, we got to win a title. We got to win a title. We got to win a title. And it's like, do you know how hard that really is? And, we've all been athletes that's on this panel. It's hard to win a state title in high school, yet alone winning an NBA title. So there's just an Olympic medal.
The caveat to that is, do you not try? Like, just because it's hard, do you not try?
No, that's
everything
right.
is hard. Like, it's going to be hard, but if you self-sabotage, then you'll definitely never get there.
Yeah, do think this iron team or something. That's what you think.
So my argument is that we've moved to this point where the only validation is winning the title. And that's not true. That's what I'm saying.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? There are a bunch of great players that have never won the title. And then, they're not in individual sports like Kelly. So when we start evaluating them, we have to look at their individual commitment, but we also got to grade organizations with certain guys.
Sure. Look at Charles and Karl Malone, all these guys. Right?
Yeah. You got to grade them. We talked about this. Dominique Wilkins, not his fault that they never got another great player. And with D's Knicks, it's not Patrick Ewing's fault that they never went and got another great player. And they're out there playing with 2 power forwards against the best 2 wing guys in the league. So, I mean, I just feel like, and don't get me wrong, we all want to win. We all want to win.
Sure.
But at the same time, I just think, to say that because a guy doesn't win the title, and then you create this pressure. So now these dudes, when they don't win titles, they got to, oh man, I got to leave. So you can't have it both ways. You can't say, oh man, I want guys to stay like Dame Lillard and Giannis, but then when they don't win titles, you're like, oh man, they need to leave so they can go win a title. Right. It's having it both ways.
Well, Houston's basically Portland. I mean, it's a nice team, probably can win 50, 55 games in the regular season, exciting. Dame can go off for 50 or 60 and they get in the first round and they peter out because they are what they are. Or as, it wasn't Herm Edwards. It was who said that? Denny Green. We are who they are who we thought they were. You know what I'm saying? But no one really lets the Rockets or the Blazers off the hook. So my thing is, you look at Harden. Clearly wants out. He's not in shape. He needs some sort of motivation. It's great to have John Wall. It's great to have Boogie. Look, they are 6, 7, or 8 seed at best. You're looking at a first round exit. You're gonna get freaking the Lakers or the Clippers or Denver, somebody like that in the first round. Probably gonna get bounced. So where can he go? He wants to go to Brooklyn. Brooklyn ain't got really anything to give back unless they add Kyrie. Hell, they don't even have any draft picks. They still owe those to the Celtics. So, it's a mess for James, but this is the NBA. So I'll get there. Real quick, go ahead.
You think that he has to be moved at this point? So you got to move him somewhere.
Likely.
Because
he still has 3 years left. They tried to give him another 2 years.
Right. So the question we asked yesterday, if it was your team, would you keep him or send him? So you weren't here yet. So I want to hear your opinion.
If I'm Houston, I gotta move him because
that's what I said too.
He's a headache for my new coach.
That's what I said.
How is that coch? That coach right now is set up to fail. Mm-hmm. How he's going to win with a star player that's a loafer, that's not dedicated? He's out of shape. He can't lead my team.
He's a walking bucket, dude. It's 30 out of bed.
He had 27.
I'm the coach.
He's smoking hookah and at strip clubs and giving you 40.
You're not, dude. And
Get him out of there. Ship him.
He gotta go, man.
Gotta go.
You're gonna lose
Gotta
the
go.
ticket.
I agree. I'm so glad you're back, Derwin.
I don't know, but the organization has to find. Listen, the organization needs to find a way to move him.
Allow this, OG. No, get off the phone.
You gotta move him.
They can't move a top 5 guy and say I don't know.
A top 5 what?
They gotta find a way to move him.
Talent, whatever you want to call him.
You might as well be a lame duck coach. Why
Who do you want?
I don't know.
Don't be the top radio guy. Get rid of everybody. Who do you want?
Listen, I don't know the particulars of this contract.
Oh,
all I'm saying is,
I told you he's got 3 years left.
All I'm saying is, if you're the Houston organization, you just brought in a brand new coach.
What more do you
and you want the club to listen to your coach, you got to move Harden.
Hey, Willie, please. Before you move,
gotta move
we're at 6:30.
Hey,
please,
for me,
I'm begging you,
I just say for me, we saw this with the Lakers. We saw this when the great Kobe said, "I need to be moved," and the organization said, "Yeah, we'll do it, but it's got to be on our terms." And so the thing that stopped the Chicago deal was Luol Deng. The Bulls, the Lakers wanted Luol Deng in the deal. Kobe said, "Nah, you can't do that deal and give Luol Deng, because if I'm going to go to a team that's not very good, then I might as well stay here with the Lakers because they weren't very good at the time."
Bingo.
So when you have that type of leverage and you got that guy signing that type of deal, I hear what you're saying, D. I hear what you're saying, Kelly, about moving
sounds
them.
Good.
But you got to make sure that the terms that you move them on, if you do this, because when you win a title, you win one with somebody that's in that conversation, in that top 20, top 30 of all time conversation. And when you got one, you better explore every single option before you give one up.
Right. And to get rid of James Harden, I need a really top-notch young guy, probably a rotational piece, and probably 1 or 2 first-round picks before I'm not even picking up the phone, Derwin, if you ain't saying that. I'm like, click, bye-bye.
I'm okay
so
with
are
that.
you okay?
I'm
that's
just
what I
saying
need
they
to have a
need to
conversation.
Dudes, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying they gotta make it happen. Like
Yeah,
I'm not saying don't, but you gotta make it happen.
Okay.
I just know, like, think about how many teams we've seen self-implode because of these exact situations. Like, and if you're the leader of the team and we got a new coach and we're bringing in young players, what you think's gonna happen? Like, it's not gonna be cute at all.
Yeah, good point.
If a seasoned player is already complaining and moaning, what do you think these young guys, like, what do you think it's going to do to these young guys?
That's why it's laughable for the Brooklyn Nets. Some of the stuff, the frameworks of the deal. I'm like, what the hell? Why would Houston do that? Why? Why am I just going to give James Harden away for what? Karis LeVert in the front. I mean, that's decent, but I need more than that. I mean, what do you want me? You want me name somebody? Oh, who are the people that you're hearing? OG, this is your organization. Who's the people that you're hearing?
To be honest, I ain't even really pay no mind to it because I don't think it's gonna happen. I mean, at this late in the game, I ain't see it happen. I mean, I'm a follower from
Dinwiddie and a second round pick. Like, what the hell we doing here, man? Stop playing.
I mean, but I mean, you try to if you can finesse,
sure.
then you put it out there. But I don't see it happening. I mean, and when we was talking about earlier about players playing, having great careers and not winning championships, I think it's going to happen more now in this generation than ever with the supermax contracts and different things like that. So, and I think James Harden is going to fall. He's going to fall in that category.
Yeah. If you're Brooklyn, you're looking at Houston like they're simps. And we'll try to come back to that. 'Cause that's what you're saying when you're like, hey, give us Spencer Dinwiddie and LaFro and a protected 2028 second round pick. Like, man, stop playing with me. Like, don't do that.
And that's why they're expanding the list of teams.
Exactly.
They're trying to make
exactly
the price. Yeah.
Look, they're
I
willing
don't
to
think
move
it's too many. It's not too many teams that's gonna have anything on the table that it's gonna make sense at the end of the day, unless it's just something that they want to get done. But I don't see too much value out here that's gonna compare to getting a player like James Harden.
Now, a team that could do something? A team like Boston. Give me Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, and 2 firsts. Okay, I'll pick up the phone.
Yeah, the deep teams like that who's had
I'll put it on. See,
has
Derwin,
some.
that's a deal, Derwin. That's a conversation starter, Derwin. That's what I like to call that. A
Make it happen.
conversation starter. Yeah.
Nah, man, don't everybody come running to the East now, man.
Oh, geez, like, I hear you. Dad, we spent all our time on. I knew it was gonna happen. Let's run through these next 5 topics. Chargers, Raiders tonight, Thursday night football. Who you got? Big game for the Raiders, 7-5. I think they lose tonight. They're out. They're not gonna make the playoffs. Hey, Willie, we start with your team, man. Real men wear black, baby.
Man, they did this stuff last year. They did the same thing, limped to the finish line. And here we are
Like
again.
some simps.
Exactly. Exactly right, man. You can't wear, that silver and black and be a simp, man. Like it's they did this last year. So and again, we're talking about that pressure and talk, if you're a quarterback, one of the things you got to do is you got to play with confidence. And we're talking about that pressure that comes from an organization or a coach when they don't have that confidence from up top. If you're Derek Carr, practically every throw he makes, he's thinking, man, am I the guy? Am I the guy? Are they going to look to try and draft somebody else next year? So with that being said, man, like I don't have a lot of confidence in my squad. I wouldn't be shocked if they lose. I actually want Anthony Lynn to win because I don't want him to get the can. So
anyway.
it wouldn't bother me, man. It wouldn't bother me.
Derwin, you just jumped in here, man. Who you got? Raiders or who you got? Hey, Willie? I'm sure you got the Raiders.
They're gonna win this game, man.
Oh,
the Chargers are gonna win.
You want your head?
The Chargers are gonna win, man.
Dude, open up that chest to make sure their heart's beating.
Yeah. I just don't, man. I've seen this movie too many times.
That's your team. Hey, this is the time where you want to lead with the heart, man.
Man, I've seen this movie too many times, man.
He's defeated. That's a defeated right there. That's a beaten man.
Man, it's been since 2001.
Oh, I know. That's true. D-Dubs, who you got tonight? Bolts or Raiders?
Raiders, they need the game desperately. They lose this game, they're done. Neither team,
not mathematically, but I think they're done.
They're done. Yeah, neither team defensively is any good, honestly. I don't think they can stop Justin Herbert. I think that quarterback for the Chargers, I can see both teams going back and forth tonight. I'm going to go with the Chargers. I just think that the Chargers, Parcells used to say, you are what your record says you are, and they're 4-8, but they're dangerous 4-8. Mm-hmm. And they got the kind of weapons that can really give the Raiders problems.
4-9 or 5-8, one of the two. Played 13 games.
He got.
I'm sorry, 4-9.
Okay.
4-9.
Yeah.
My bad.
I forgot. I didn't bring this up a couple of weeks ago. Belichick made your boy look awful.
Well, yeah, I told you he's a rookie. Belichick's rookies against rookies.
He made him look like not even a daggone backup out there, dude. He made
aberration. His body of work speaks.
That's one game. You're right.
There's one game. But yeah, that guy liable to throw for 350 tonight.
I'm with you on that.
So
how about that, America? Larry Ridley and D-Dubs, we agree. I got both tonight. Kelly, who you rolling with tonight? Silver and black or powder blue? Wait.
I was seeing if it was snowing outside because wow. That never happens.
Man, you better stop playing.
I think what, I'm gonna go with the Raiders tonight. But okay. I think it'll be like one of those scrappy kind of like down to the wire games of like not great football, but it'll be like interesting enough to watch. So yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to.
You got Raiders.
Yeah.
Did A. Willie talk you into it? Tell
me. We need some help over here.
He feel sorry for
I have been called a lucky charm a time or two, so
I think she feels sorry for A. Willie. That's what it is. Like, let me help A. Willie out. He's over there all by himself.
Man, what Dre, like what Dre said, I've been in the game for 19 years. That's how long it's been for my team, man. Like,
hang in there. You got the Lakers, though.
Go ahead and add another one on there.
You got the Lakers. You're doing all right, man. You got the Lakers on the Dodgers. I don't want to hear from you, A. Willie. You all right? You ain't hurt. OG, who you got, man? Wear black.
Chargers.
Oh, okay.
It should be
expand on that?
Nah, I mean, to be honest, I really don't care about the game. I mean, none of this has implications on my guys on the other side of the track. So I know the Chargers had, I think, one of the Boza brothers. So I like,
yeah,
Buckeye. So I'll rock with them.
You got the Chargers. All right. So we got 3 with the Chargers and 2 with the with the Raiders. We'll check back in the group chat tonight around 11:30, 11:45, and see who was right. But you know what? You know what? I'm rooting for you, A. Willie. I'll pick the Chargers, but I really want to see your team win. At least stay in it for a couple more weeks. But if they lose, you know,
You're just gonna be playing with my emotions. That's all you doing, man. Like,
I got you, dog. I got you. Uh, college football now. James Oresco, commissioner of the AAC, American Athletic Conference, had a chance to sort of talk to him a couple of times when I was down in Orlando at UCF. Bright guy, was on Paul Feinbaum's show the other day, and he's pissed off about Cincinnati, who's really good, by the way. Look at their numbers, guys, in your home state, OG. That defense is good. Like they are legit. Got NFL players. They ain't played no damn body. Neither is Ohio State. And he's like, you know what, man, this college football playoff is not fair to the group of five. The power of five runs it. He's like, you know what? I'd rather just bring back the BCS and let the computers, pick it out. And it's like, you understand if the BCS came back, y'all still wouldn't be in the top four, right? Or not even the top two, because they only picked two. So it's like I didn't really understand that. I know it was probably hyperbole. Just your reaction on that.
It's one of those things where you say things that you feel at the moment because of something catering to another team per se. Like, I mean, I know now the big argument is, Ohio State has didn't. Of course, I understood the whole thing. They didn't play. They wasn't going to play the 6 games mandatory because of everything that went on. But then it was deemed that even if they, whatever would have happened, they still would have ended up in the Big Ten championship. So they got that squared away. But you got teams that played more games than Ohio State and different things like that. So it's just now we really start to see how people really feel when it's not their team in position.
Right.
And that's pretty much, I think, nobody wants to see the BCS. I mean,
Sure.
really, to me, the only thing that could even get close to being logical is at some point you take the top 16 teams and you play it from that point. And
do it in FCS.
Yeah, so I'm like that's to me it would be the most logical. The top 4 is better than the BCS, but it still doesn't. It still leaves a lot of teams out that feel like they're worthy. I mean, and that's why we get these type of statements that we got.
I agree. I think you need at least 8 there. D Dubs, your
Minimum.
thoughts here. I agree. Your thoughts here on Mike Oresco and his comments on Paul Feinbaum's show talking about the BCS. He's got a small point, but it's like not really because trust me, these BCS computers would not have Cincinnati nowhere near the top 2 or the top 4.
That's just he's frustrated because he's got a team in this conference.
It's the eye test. The eye test.
Yeah, they're doing extremely well. He feels in his heart they're better than Iowa State, and Iowa State's probably only ahead of them. They got 2 losses because they picked
SEC teams with 2 losses in front of them. That's a smack in the face.
And they're in the power conference, and that's parental treatment. So he's annoyed. So I get it. That he's just talking. He's annoyed. He's trying to stick up for his squad. So I get it. Going back to what we had before, I don't think so.
Okay. Kels, does Mike Oresco have a point here?
No.
That's a trick question. No, he does have a point. He just made it.
I mean, he's got a point. You just got to let people talk sometimes. And that's what it is. You just got to let them get it on out. There have been a time or two I've sat in the argument, and you just got to let somebody get it on out because they're frustrated. They're at a point where they just got to go. So, I mean, we can't go back.
We can't.
What's happening now is too wildly popular. There are too many variables behind it that make sense now. That if you went back to the BCS, it would be so anticlimactic that like it's just not interesting enough.
Yeah, because it'd be Clemson and the SEC champ.
Yes, and so at the end of the day, it's all about TV ratings, pre-COVID, putting butts in seats. What's going to be the most popular, and now like we couldn't go back to that. It would feel like it would feel so like a lie. So you can't go back to what broke you. So
Gail said it would be a lie.
It would be a lie. Like it was so I hated it. So I think we can expand upon what we have now. That might be, no, that is the answer actually.
You said we're living a lie. Have you not seen Instagram?
I seen who you was double tapping, but that's
Oh,
not my
I
place.
don't double tap. I don't
Did
double tap.
somebody
Chris
say tap?
Webber.
I ain't double tap. Don't do that. Don't put me out there like that. No, she cute though. I can't stand you, Kelly. Boy, I can't.
I
Yeah,
always got one in the chamber. I
I
always
know,
fire back.
man. But you got
Always.
two in the chamber. You ain't got one. You got two ready for my butt every day. Hey, Willie, Michael Resco, man, talking that nonsense, basically.
Man,
He's
you know,
heartbroken. He's a simp that
yeah,
can't get Pokimane to respond to him.
yeah. You know, Kelly touched on it. We've seen this before. We saw in 2011 when UConn made the Fiesta Bowl when they were on the hook for like 30,000
Man,
tickets and
and
didn't
got
sell them.
skull
Right,
drug too.
and not only that, but they lost a bunch of money because they didn't sell those tickets.
Right.
Right,
But I was there when
so they,
UCF beat Baylor, though. So that was a power group of five team. And in 2014 with Blake Bortles, 2013, we went out to Arizona. They put it on Baylor, won that game.
but this is about the money, right? So like so when UConn is on the hook for 30,000 tickets, that's
UCF,
a
a lot
lot of
bigger
money,
school,
right?
60,000 students. They
So
were primed to fly
but
out there.
then but this is another reason why he's so as well because we saw this with UCF. Right, another team from his conference, we saw this, and they awarded themselves a national championship. So he's seen this twice. So my man is twice, right? So you know, with that being said, I understand it, but no, we can't go back to that, man. We can't go back to that.
So
And,
how do
and,
we go ahead?
and the other reason why we can't go back to it as well is because, yeah, the CFP also is about the eye test, but again, it's also about ratings. And these four teams that rotate in and out of this thing, well, it's basically three teams and one other team that gets an invite. Those three teams and the other team always bring ratings. Always bring ratings. So
But he was saying, could you imagine? Look, Alabama, Texas A&M's like number 5 right now, right? Alabama beat them by 30 points, put 52 on the board, beat them like 52-20 or something like that, 52-24, whatever, beat them by like 4 touchdowns. And Oresco was saying, give Cincinnati a chance. Their calling card is defense. And I agree with him. They're definitely a top 5 defense in the country. So if you want to see who can slow down Clemson or Alabama, and people, guys, remember, Alabama's doing this without the best receiver in America. And the other guy's stepping up, Smith, and it's like, whoa, like, but I see what he's saying. It's just, OG's right. Until you expand this thing to 8 or 16, man, we just won't see it. Can Cincinnati be that fly in the ointment like, some of the guys down south like to say? Absolutely. Could they beat Notre Dame, a Clemson or somebody on a given day? Sure, absolutely. I want to see it. Just don't give me BCS because the numbers would prove otherwise. You wouldn't be in the final 2, dude. That's it.
Definitely not. So he's seen this before, so he's hurt, man.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Just gotta let him get it out. Go ahead, baby. Vent.
Yeah.
Just get on IG, man. Go talk to one of those little models
Yep.
out there, man. Make it like-
Don't do that. Don't do that. They will post it. It'll end up on somebody's blog. No,
Oh,
thank
That's
you.
why I don't double tap right there. You're daggone right. JSU, Jackson State.
Instagram boy.
Kelly, something else. Jackson State, what do you think about this? I saw Deion Sanders mention this. I believe it was Tuesday or Wednesday, one of the two. He said there are rumors out there that they have the number 1 recruiting class in the history of HBCUs. And then he said they have the number 1 recruiting class right now in FCS, Division 1AA, and one of the top in the nation. Right now, I think they're like, out of all schools, they're like top 50, top 60. Where the hell did this come from? Are y'all buying that this is the greatest recruiting class so far in the history of HBCUs? They just signed the number 3 or 4 overall JUCO player the other day. He's got both of his sons, Shiloh and Shadur, playing, and I think Shadur is a top, ESPN 300 guy. He's a 4-star, and I think Shiloh transferred from South Carolina where he was playing a lot. Deion's killing it down there in Jacktown. You guys impressed by this? We'll go with the HBCUer, Kelly Wells.
I was like, that's meandering.
Oh,
But
I keep forgetting about Durham. That's
yeah.
Yeah, you always do.
I know.
Oh, and Coach K.
Coach K don't count.
I mean, I definitely saw this coming. I believe the hype. I knew it was going to happen. He's prime. Like when I watch these videos that he's putting out on, Facebook, like no other coach is doing that. So you're already speaking the language that these kids are speaking by talking to them by on social media, these calls. Oh, we want dogs. Like, and he's so impassioned. So he already knows how to fire people up. Like He's been there. He speaks the language. It I expected this. I knew it was going to happen. I didn't know that it was going to happen in the first year. I thought that there were going to be some people hesitating, hanging back, trying to see what was going to happen. I'm happy. I'm an HBCU person. I want to see the world changed. I want to see it shaken up. I want to see, you know, HBCUs not looked at as like last chance U's when, guys get in trouble at these big schools and then they need another chance. They still want to play. So then they drop down to go to HBCUs or they fail out and they go to HBCUs. No, I want the HBCUs to be the first pick. Wish it could be mine, obvi. But I'm cool with it being Jackson State. I hung out down there a lot. Had some interesting times. Um, Younger days.
We're not going to go
Um,
into those.
Younger days, it's fine.
Yes, yes.
But yes, we knew this was coming. Like, look, like he is positioning them. He's got clothing deals. He's
Under
really
Armour.
putting stuff in place. What I read the coaching staff of like how many playing like years of playing and coaching they have is like more than any other team combined. So like this is about to be a show and I'm ready to be front seat.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Derwin, you're a fellow HBCUer. You surprised by Coach Prime? And on Instagram, how does he do all of this? He's got 21st and Prime. He's on all the morning shows. He's still on Barstool, and he's freaking coaching a major deal down there in Jacktown. I know they are fired up in Jackson about
Yeah.
Deion Sanders, man. It's a proud program. And like, look, they got that stadium, the Veterans Memorial Stadium in Jackson, holds like 65,000. They're gonna have
Hmm.
that thing rocking.
They're gonna
Sonic
have a
Boom on the
rocket.
South too, rocking.
As soon as this COVID is over, this thing is gonna be packed. But
Yeah.
I'm not surprised at all. I said it before when they hired him. Who's not gonna want to play for him? Are you kidding me? He's a Hall of Famer. He's charismatic. He's one of the best who ever have done it. And just the video. I'm pretty sure everyone's seen the video on Facebook. I seen it on Facebook. He's talking about he wants some dogs, and he goes around the room with the coaching staff and talk about what kind of players they want. You know, um, I'm happy for him, and he's always been on social media, whether it be Twitter, talking his truth, and he's the kind of coach that he's going to keep it real with these young men. He's going to try to help these young men, not just to be great football players, but to be great citizens after the fact. So um, it's just even before this happened, what were we hearing before? Even with basketball, people were trying to get some of these top players to not to go to the big schools,
Maker
go
Mom.
to
I was gonna mention that.
go to the HBCUs.
Yep.
Now you got one HBCU that has an iconic figure as a head coach that people love and people follow. Even if you hadn't seen him play before, they can relate to him. They're gonna start going to Jackson State. So this is the beginning, of maybe stealing some of these top recruits from these big Ohio State and Florida States, to go to Jackson State. And I really hope that this works out for Prime. I hope that team wins and keeps that ball rolling.
Yeah. Hey Willie, Maker Mob down there in Howard, top 15 sort of recruit down there, and you see what Jackson State's doing. I love that Deion Sanders is bringing back some of the red in Jackson State. I love those red jackets that they're wearing.
Yeah,
He's always
yeah,
pimping out. I
yeah.
like that. I'm like, okay, that's an alternate. That goes back to the time when Jackson State was bad back in the day. I'm like, okay, I like that. Reaching
Yeah.
back into the heritage there. I like that.
No, me too. And I wanted him to come out of the gate strong because,
Huh?
similar to in basketball with Penny Hardaway, it crushed me a little bit when James Wiseman didn't play and all that stuff was going on with the NCAA because I felt like when you get an iconic figure in there, they have to really get going right out the chute. So now they get enough players, they become successful, and the machine feeds itself. And so that's what I want to see with Dion. Okay, come out of the chute successful, the machine feeds itself, and you continue to keep going. Now he's not just living off of the fact that, hey, I was Deion Sanders. I'm living off the fact that I coach a successful college program here. So and so I want him to get to that point, and that's what I wanted to see for Penny Hardaway as well. So with that being said, I'm so happy that he's getting out the chute quick from a recruiting standpoint, and I certainly want to see it translate on the field to wins for sure.
Absolutely. OG, your thoughts here on what Prime's doing down there in Jacktown, 601 area code, which I still have, by the way, which I met the ex-wife down there, but that's a different story.
I mean, is it expected?
Leave me alone, Phil.
Yes.
Leave me
I
alone.
mean, first of all, like when players and families look to commit to colleges, you look at the reputation of the school. But primarily for that sport, you look at the coach, and you think about prime time. I mean, it don't get much better than that when you think about college football. I mean, and then translating to the pros. Most players go to college to play football because they want to become a pro. Him and his staff exemplify that, and also he looks like most of the players that he's recruiting. So I think it's so many dubs before they even get to the field, where you can't help but to be excited about it. I mean, me personally, I think it's always been one of those things where a lot of HBCUs are underfunded, and I've seen it firsthand from some of my family members who attended HBCUs and some of the conversations we've had and talked about or whatever. But you get somebody like Prime coming in and getting endorsement deals and using his resources accordingly. I'm sure that makes it appealing and attractive for those big time recruits to want to come play there. So I think it. I hope this is the continuation of something with him and others that want to get into coaching, because we really don't see a lot of former pros go back and coach at the college level. I mean, there's a few here and there, but there's not a lot, because most of the former pros they get on professional staffs and they coach at that level. So seeing what Prime is doing, I mean, he's been doing it for a long time. And then, to my recollection, I can't think of any like really negative kickbacks that Prime has ever had. I mean, he's been cocky and arrogant and all those type of things that you really love to have in an athlete.
I was
Really.
about to say you need those qualities to
Oh
be
yeah, I don't
successful
knock it at
on
all.
the field. Yeah.
I was a big Prime fan, so
Mm-hmm.
now seeing that, I mean, it's just I can't wait to see him play, and I'm sure that they're going to win. But to me, the major wins is that these guys go on and play at the next level. That will really change the game. If we see a lot of these big time recruits come in and they getting they putting that hat on and playing on Sundays, he's definitely going to change the game big time.
Well, he can definitely help those guys, on and off the field with the connections. I think what you were talking about, Kels, is like over 50, 60 years of NFL experience there and that on that coaching staff, and they're going to do great things down there. I think they start up in February. Um, I know if I'm ever in Jackson, I got to drop the kids off or something. I think I might try to sneak by and go check out GSU, the Tigers, man. Check out the Sonic Boom of the South, and definitely got to see my girls out there. You know what I'm saying? The Majorettes. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that right, Kels? Is that how we do it?
They don't play no
I
ball.
wouldn't know because I wasn't.
What do you know about simp?
Not a damn
we
thing.
should we be saying it?
Yeah, we can say, oh,
We're on to
we're on
spell it
Twitch.
like we're stop
Oh,
saying it.
you
Twitch.
set
We
us
are
up.
No, this
sorry.
is a
He
new.
don't know no better.
No. We ain't streaming. We ain't somebody in our little basement playing video games. This is a show, so we can talk about it. The hell with Twitch and all this other stuff. A simp
So
is
tell
someone who
me, yes.
a
Okay, well go
someone
ahead. Go ahead.
a simp is someone who does way too much for a person they like. So that's what a simp is. It's the opposite of a pimp. Also, they banned the word incel. And let me go to my handy dictionary here and figure out what incel. I believe incel has something to do with you consider themselves unable to attract women sexually, and then they banned the word virgin too. I don't know why, but your thoughts here, guys, on Twitch, just banning these three words. They did like a town hall
Hey,
meeting yesterday.
you
We
want me
showed
to
pictures
read
of it
off
and
the
stuff.
definition for intel?
I just did. It was
Please.
who consider themselves unable to attract women sexually.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
pretty
So
much.
Use it in a
okay, I have a
sentence.
question. I have a question before we dive in.
We got to start with the lady.
Why? Like what? Like was this offending
My
somebody?
kids
Or
use the word. That's how they talk about. Dad, quit simping. You sipping on the phone. You're a
I call
simp. I
I
know.
call people
Yeah.
simps. So I was like, hey,
Mhm.
don't be a simp. Or hey, girl,
Yeah.
he a simp. So
Hmm.
but why? Like what it was like? What would be the? I could think of 1,000 other words to like
Yeah, like the N
put it
word,
Yeah.
in.
which
Like
they
I was gonna
allowed
say,
here.
is the
Yeah.
N word okay? So what? Why does any? Oh, Ivan, why?
So we know the Twitch chat can be very toxic. And
Oh
look,
yeah,
we appreciate everything that Twitch is
it's a
doing, but
brutal
Right?
world, Kelly.
you know,
It's a brutal world, man.
are we still on
But
the air
why
right now? Did
these
they strike us
words?
down?
None of these words are in my vocabulary, so I don't know.
I guess these are some of the
I've
words.
been called a simp before though on IG.
Hey, there's a little bit of truth behind that.
Oh wow.
I mean, the thing, no, and you know what's funny? This was a moment where I was commenting on the aerial powers, and I think what was it, Andre Iguodala situation, where he said number 23 was balling, and he didn't say her name or anything like that. And I happen to know, I've met her, talked to her, like had conversation with her, so I had just commented on that, and the next thing you know, I was getting attacked.
These kids are crazy, man. I'm telling you, man. It's like a beehive out there. Hey, Willie, get on in here, man. You in Texas. You live in Chicago where the pimps roam. Simping ain't easy, or maybe it is easy.
Man, I again, I don't understand why this word has become so toxic. To me, it's like the fact that they banned it just gave it more fire and more reason why people are going to try to use it. And, it's when you're like you said, your kids are like, Dad, quit simping. They're like, not that big of a deal, right? So with that being said, I don't understand this. Is the good thing I like is the fact that it's kept its meaning from what we used to use it when we were young. So it ain't morphed into something changed. Like,
I love that.
So I love that, right? Like, but no, I don't understand that. And again, all the other stuff that people could be saying, like Kelly said, like, I don't get this one.
Coach K, let's show up the pictures again, because you'll see the town hall. It was a two box. It was two women talking. That's when they basically broke the news, if I'm not mistaken, right? OG, it was like a town hall. Hey, here are the words that you can't use, and it was like, what? Where did this come from?
It was so funny because Chuck made a tweet about it the other day. He was joking, but
what did he say?
He basically was saying, man, I'm so glad that Twitch decided to ban these words. I've been so tired of being called a simp and a virgin. and if you know Chuck, like, I mean, he's a funny kid, and he basically, he gets called.
Oh, so you can say the word, you just can't call others that.
Well, he he tweeted it out. He tweeted it out. He didn't say it during the stream or anything like that. But I mean, now I will tell y'all this. Another interesting take that I seen from it was that, yeah, it's fine and dandy that they chose words that they decided to ban, but they ain't banned no racist words on there.
I know.
Nope.
So, it's still a lot more work to be done.
Darwin, you seem very unimpressed.
I told you, these words are not in my vocabulary, so I didn't know what a simp was.
UGK been saying simp since they've been saying that for years.
I heard a yip.
Front, back, and side to side. Daddy back, front and back. Side to side.
That's why I was surprised the word. Hey, it was so funny because when I got called that on IG,
Damn,
I had to question myself, like, is it a new definition, like, to the word? Because I ain't heard this in a long time. Like, so it was funny.
No, I think that's the thing though. It's like anything, like, if you're doing anything like supporting a woman, being positive towards them, they'll just use it. So
you can say the word as long as you're not directing it towards them. I guess Twitch bans the term simp, incel, and virgin when used as an insult. So as long as you're not directing it to, like I said, it's a news story. Like Twitch,
man,
I don't care about what Twitch has to say. It's a news story. We can talk about it.
So calling someone a virgin is offensive?
I guess so.
So
okay. All right. You know what? I'm gonna mind my own.
I think that's a good thing. You should be a virgin. What are you out there having premarital sex for?
In the millennial world, only fans and everything, everybody's just thinking you're supposed to be all out there and not save anything. So I don't know. It's weird. I mean, even with the simp thing, I mean, it's all cool and dandy and to joke about or whatever. But me personally, like, some of the views and angles that's looked upon when dealing with women these days, it's puzzling to me. Like, if you ask me,
a lot of anger.
Yeah,
and that's
where incel comes in, because they exhibit like toxic behavior towards women. It's like, dude, she doesn't like it, it's fine. you understand there's like more women than men, so you got good odds. Just go out there and
Right.
find one,
Well,
right?
I
Right.
married a
It's
man
amazing.
that went above and beyond for me. I married a man that did a lot for
He
me,
was
and
simping.
it
He was
wasn't
simping.
monetarily. I mean, that
No,
was a part
don't
of it,
tell
but
about
like
it. No, I was just joking. Don't,
he
I ain't
wouldn't
trying.
take offense to it. He'd be like, "You right, I wanted her,"
I
and
mean,
that
yeah, he
was
went
it.
after what he
That's
wanted.
Yeah,
Like, I
like
mature.
mean,
That's
But you
mature.
set
so.
standards too in the very beginning. I think you
Oh,
told us
yes, I'm not gonna fly to come see you.
right.
You can visit me on your off day. You
Right.
have those, and they have planes. But I mean, he went above and beyond for me. So that is what
Oh,
got my attention. That is what made me love him because women, we're already gonna go above and beyond because that's just what's in us. Like we are bred to love. We
yeah.
have a womb. We give life. Like so, love is in
Oh,
me. So I want somebody that's gonna go harder for me. Like my grandma said, marry a man that loves you more than you love him. And I sure got me one.
oh, that's our queen.
shout out to grandma.
That's my queen right there. We love you, Kels. That's my queen.
Shout out to the hubs.
Shout out to Jasper.
Jasper.
Did it the right way. You hear that, young men? Do it the right way, man. Go get your queen
I
and
wish
treat her right.
I wish more of our women had standards like Kel because I don't understand how any of these women walking around here could be dating men, but they can't pull their pants up. It just blows my mind. Why would you want to talk to a guy that can't? He got a belt or he not even using it.
And they got 2, 3, 4 kids with them. with the
Come
same
on.
standards.
Well, I mean, it's
It,
yeah, you're right.
it's
I've got nothing for that. You're right.
I look
yeah,
out my. I
Hey,
could
it's
well,
walk out my house and walk to the boulevard, and I guarantee you, I'm gonna see
but
him.
that's Carnoustie, dude. That ain't
That's
everywhere.
anywhere. I could be in
That's,
Virginia.
that's
It's everywhere.
These,
Bedford Stuyvesant, dude.
oh, dude, these guys.
It's true.
Yeah.
They're gonna have skinny jeans that's their butt is
Not
out and
around
their
their
but
thighs. Yep.
yes, and then but you're
Yeah.
gonna have a Gucci or a
A Gucci
Hermes
belt.
or whatever
Yep.
belt on there
Yep.
trying to
Yep.
look cute.
And
And this is what they and the girls like this. I'm like,
yeah, why are our daughters? Hey Willie,
Uh-oh.
you don't want Jordan 10 years from now dating a guy, bringing a guy home. He can't even pull his pants up.
10 years. She ain't dating in 10 years. The hell with that.
15 years.
There you
Man,
go.
Willie's
I don't
staying in shape
understand this.
for
Hey, Willie,
moments
I'll be
like
like,
that.
she gonna be 30 till she go out there. Hey, I tell my daughter,
I'll be like, do
you
you
can go to
watch
the movies
Twitch?
when you're 35. I'll let you go to the movies.
but see, that's also like so okay, let me speak from a woman's point of view,
Real quick.
I was raised that way.
Hmm.
Of your parents shying away from your sexuality, shying away from dating. I think that is a horrible mistake because when she gets out on her own, she
Hmm.
won't know how to handle herself. So
Yeah.
you have to teach her to embrace her beauty, embrace her sexuality. And I'm not saying go out there and do it, but talk about it, let her know that it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's not a thing. Now you're not out here passing it out and handing it to every Tom, Dick, and Harry, but we can't teach our sons to be predators and teach our daughters to be nuns because then that's a very unbalanced society. And as a girl who was brought up that way, it definitely didn't pay me off on the back end as an adult learning about things on my own that I should have learned about with my mom or with, my parents because like yes, I'm a prize to be won, but also you have to understand that like you're a rose, you're a blooming flower and it's going to be noticed. And so what are you going to do when it's going to be noticed? Like you got to be able to peep that game and not just be like, "Oh, he thinks I'm special." No, girl, no he don't.
No, we
No.
don't.
Because he
He
called
don't.
you pretty and he called
I
you
think
beautiful. Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
I agree, Ken. I
Gotcha.
think most of us guys joke about it, but that was the way that I was with my daughter, and she 26 now, and I ain't seen her really date nobody like steady or anything because her thing was like, Papa's, I ain't seen nobody really worth my time like that. Because my whole time I spent giving her the game, like how lewd and crude and how I was coming up. I let her
Unadulterated.
know, like,
Yep.
hey, this is what it is. This is what it might be. You got to make the best decision that you see fit. And I think I've done a pretty good job, but I mean, sometimes I don't know if I damaged her or if I helped her because she don't be playing no games with
She's
nobody.
skeptical. There's nothing wrong with being skeptical. I tell my
There's
kids that
nothing.
all the
Yeah.
time. Be
But
skeptical
it's
about
you
every
give
damn
her
thing.
that game. Give her cuz give your daughters that cuz there's been like when I was younger and I got duped and you don't know you're getting duped till you're on the other side of it. You're like, "What the heck?
Mm.
They lie like that? Like, what?" So by the time I got to my husband, he was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So that don't work on you? No, it doesn't. You offering me a plane ticket does not work for me. Or,
Right.
like those things don't work. No, I know I'm cute. I know I'm bad. Like, I know. Like, there's nothing that you can tell me that I don't know about myself. So you got to do way better than that. Like, way better than that. So he
Yeah.
always says he married me because I'm the only one that ever challenged him.
That challenged him exactly. You provoke thought in the young man. That's exactly what it was. So, good stuff. Kills, you turned out very well, by the way. You did. Jasper's a lucky young man, and you guys are a power couple down there in H Town. So, good stuff down there.
Thank you.
Compete for everyone Black News Channel. Let's get out here this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Eastern, episode 29, North Carolina A&T, A. Willie. A. Willie, did you have a hoodie on?
No.
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 No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Okay. All right. I think I did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I
You
did.
did.
I had a
You
hoodie.
did. You did.
So I did it in honor of you, A. Willie.
I
I'll mark
appreciate that.
He's always smiling. He's just such a nice guy. I've been trying to get you to say crazy stuff, and you won't take the bait, man. Unless it's music. It's the only time you say crazy stuff. You can tell A. Willie was brought up well and educated.
My
And,
grandma wouldn't have that, man.
yeah. I've been trying to get you to act up. You won't do it, man. I'm gonna get you to act up one of these days. You're gonna act up, dude.
Nah.
We're gonna get it. Siobhan, and it's just for show. It ain't real. This is not him, but I want him to. It's gonna be like a skit. It's gonna be like a Saturday Night Live skit. We're gonna get A. Willie to act up. So
Hello,
good
you
stuff.
did between my grandmas and my mom, man. You don't want that funk with Big Janice. It's my mama's
Big Janice, my
name.
bad. I don't want that smoke. I'm backing up. You can hear it like doo doo doo.
Big Jan,
I don't want that.
Big Janice is all of 5'4".
And still
Big Janice.
putting fear in people. We got you, Big Janice. Shout out to Big Janice. Shout out to Siobhan. Shout out to Jordan. Shout out to Kelly Wells. Shout out to Jasper. Shout out to what's the baby boy's name again? Kelly, your baby boy?
My son, Jasper.
That's easy.
Junior?
Junior. Yeah.
Hey,
He's
you
a
better
junior.
tell you that you are T Rash.
That's
Yo,
right.
he
That
will
was
tell you that.
T-Rash.
He will
That
be
was
like,
good.
yo, you're T Rash.
T-Rash. D Dubs, you're a beautiful son. Tell the wife and the son thank you for allowing you to go and play with us this past weekend. We really appreciate it. Tell them you were inside the whole time when the street lights were on. You were, in good shape
Oh,
up there. You're not getting
she,
any.
Man, that-
she
man,
called to see where I was Saturday night.
Everything was closed.
I know you had freaking Schenectady.
The
You
most
ain't-
we done is go to Club Wendy's.
we did go to Wendy's.
So
Stayed in
asleep.
Yeah, we did.
was in a drive-through for like 30 minutes.
So
too.
asleep.
OG, man, be careful out there and be good out there. And Dayton, man, we'll see you on Tuesday. Kevin Mamuzet out there pushing the right buttons. How was the audio, Kevin? Good?
Good.
Good.
Hey, the FIBA championships is
2K.
this weekend for USA.
Good stuff. Is
Right.
it tomorrow or Saturday?
Better win.
It's Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah.
FIBA. Okay.
They
Be
better
on the lookout
win.
for that. Be on the lookout for that. Thanks for watching esportsXTRA, only live call-in sports show talking traditional sports, esports, and gaming. For this esteemed panel here, I'm Larry Ridley. We'll be back Tuesday. We'll see you Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here. esportsXTRA. Have a great Friday and a great rest of the weekend. Bye.